Can't say I haven't tried.
Sometimes the scale tips the other way, though.
You reckon?
If I have too many coffees, I start to get more tired.
Am I crashing? I'm crashing.
Hey, Marina.
Hi.
Here we are.
At the Lakeside Theatre.
The beautiful Lakeside Theatre.
Oh, gorgeous.
Yeah. What is it like having multiple plays?
So I wanted to get myself to a point where I could be touring more than one show.
Sure.
And then after I had done 2 shows, I was like, this is too much. One is enough. So being realistically, because the way I operate my my company, which is like I write, I perform, I produce, I market it, like it's too much. Yeah. My goal is to be touring more than one show, but the reality is I'm going show by show and putting all my focus and my resources into one show at a time. Because realistically is what I can do at the moment. One show to come home, which is amazing.
Thanks.
Has been touring for quite a while.
Yeah.
And it started here, it's coming back here. How has the process been?
Coming back feels like I'm bringing a different show, I would say. Artistically, I feel very different to how I did when we started.
I mean, you started it years ago, didn't you? When you were working Waterstones here on campus. Waterstones doesn't exist anymore.
It's gone.
But you're still here.
Yeah, and I still keep coming back.
To come home surviving. So, yeah, how did it start? What was your creative process? It's been a long one, so how did it start?
I did a lot of theatre in my teens and early 20s, and then I sort of just stopped completely. And it just happened to be a medium that I was comfortable writing in. And I felt like there was a story I wanted to put on paper, and that was my favourite medium to do so. So I wrote it, didn't really finish it, like didn't feel like it was finished, but it was mostly there. And then, yeah, it wasn't until like 4 years later when I did Colchester Fringe for the first time, and then I was like, oh, this is fun, you know, maybe I'll bring something, what have I got? And that's when we started workshopping. How long have you been working on Subtitles Over?
So Subtitles Over has been brewing in my head since 2017. So how many years is that? 8 years, goodness me. I let it fester.
But like,
I let it brew.
That's the thing. You got to let it cook, though, right?
Yes.
Like when I say to people like, "Oh, I started in 2019," they're like, "Oh my god!" But I'm like, "But you don't understand. I didn't touch it for like 4 years." Like,
and it's not only coming up with the idea; it's also finding a nice format that's interesting. Because I knew that the story for Subtitles Over was interesting, but I was like, if I just stage it as in like this is what happened.
Yeah.
I couldn't find a hook, really, for it to be innovative and, you know, a hook for marketing to audiences, especially in the UK, because I was like, oh, it's such a niche, like Catalan independence and politics and the fight against violence from the Spanish government. It's so niche here in the UK. So we are doing something that I personally haven't seen yet, which is exploring multilingualism through captions, and the captions being a character on itself, and being very much like the premise of the show is based on people watching, the audiences watching, not understanding me on stage. So that communication is broken, and we play with that. I think it's a very playful, very innovative show, and it's working so well because we found a very interesting format to go with.
Yeah, it works.
In addition to a nice story.
Crazy well. Do you think it works? I loved it, and I thought it was like that premise of not being able to trust the subtitles. I knew the premise going in, and I was like, is it going to live up to the premise? And it 100% does. Like, it's funny, and it's sad, and it's infuriating when, even though I don't speak Catalan, I can tell that what you are saying is not what the subtitles claim. Do you think it's a more rewarding show for someone who only speaks one language? Or do you think it's more rewarding for an audience that do speak Catalan?
Going in, I was very worried about, like, oh my God, this has been designed for English monolingual audiences. I was like, what happens if Catalan people come to the show?
What does the show look like
What's the
for
take?
them?
And I'm very happy to report that like people who do understand and not understand the Catalan aspect of it get very different readings, but they both seem to really enjoy the show. Because for the monolingual audiences or audiences who don't speak Catalan, they get the frustration of not being able to understand me as a performer and having to rely on the subtitles. But the Catalan audiences get so frustrated. Are like, no, guys, that's not what she's saying. And like, I can see sometimes who's Catalan because I'm looking at the audience, I'm making direct eye contact, and I can see them looking around like, no, and they want to say, this is not what's going on. So yeah, very different readings, but they both work, and I'm very happy that everyone gets to enjoy it in a way or another.
So you already were like, I'm going to write about this situation. But yeah, what was the...
I came across this art piece. There was a film in French with subtitles in English, but the voiceover in here. And I speak French and English, so I started listening, and I became very frustrated because I was like, these subtitles are shit. That's not what it's saying. And like, I'm getting it because I speak French, but all these English people in here might not get the point that the artist is trying to get across. And I got so mad on behalf of the artist because I don't think that was
deliberate.
The point that I was trying to make. So yeah, then I was like, oh, what would happen if I make a theatre piece that put this disconnect between what the subtitles are getting across and what the artist is trying to get across. My biggest frustration of what happened in Catalonia and seeing all that violence on my street was the fact that our voices weren't getting across to an international audience because of this language barrier mainly, and because, you know, the reporting from the Spanish side, which is the one that gets more international projection, it didn't show what was actually happening in Catalonia. So our voices weren't able to get to this international scene.
I don't know what the next question on the script is.
That's fine.
But I wanted to ask you about tech, if that's okay. Because obviously you have subtitles. Half the show is you on stage, I would say, and the other half is the projector.
Yes.
How frickin' stressful is that?
You have
doing Fringe.
No idea. You have no idea. So essentially, I wrote myself an amazing show that lasts an entire hour where, because I'm working with Shannon, my tech operator, who's teching the show in Catalan, a language she does not speak. And she has marked on her script every change of subtitle. So I can't get any line wrong. So it's incredibly stressful. I was like, oh, for my second show, I'm just gonna go, you know, one-woman show, so I can just do whatever I want.
Just turn the lights on.
Like, why? I did this to myself. Why did I do this to myself? So essentially, I'm my worst enemy. But I'm very lucky. I've got a technician like Shannon, who...
I mean, it's a two-hander, really, between the two of you,
And we've built an incredible connection on stage where there have been times where I effed up and Shannon has to save the day because we've been doing it for so long and we really trust each other. We just find each other's footing on the play. And I think she's starting to learn Catalan.
Just like naturally absorbing it.
Osmosis. Yeah, it's incredible. I'm so proud of her. So tell me about To Come Home and who you have working on it, how everyone brings... Because To Come Home is a play with music. You have beautiful lighting, you have beautiful set. There's so many elements and they work harmoniously so well.
It's a testament to collaboration, I think. And I mean, you must understand that because you're our award-nominated intimacy director. So
a pleasure. The work is so good. It just all the award nominations you're getting to speak for itself.
Ah, thanks.
And in so many categories, which is my point.
But that's the case in point, right? Is to have the intimacy director nominated, the director nominated, the lighting nominated, the ensemble. I've probably forgotten some of them.
Your performance in it.
Oh, me, well, whatever.
The music.
The music,
And you've done so much of it.
I have, but how sad would that all look without everyone else's contributions, without the lighting? Like, I like doing lots of things because I'm a control freak and because I always had like a very clear image of what the show should be. But it's not fun working by yourself. And my favourite parts about the whole show have been working with everyone.
And how has it been kind of orchestrating this big team? And it's a big show to move, and you've been doing runs in such diverse spaces. How has it been coordinating all that?
That's credit to my production manager, Hannah Laura, honestly, because she's the one that handles all the travel. She knows everything that's happening. She knows when everyone's train is and where everyone's staying and stuff like that. So again, yeah, just a great team.
What are the challenges you've found throughout the journey of creating and moving the show?
Transport, the furniture. I worked on a show, I was like a co-writer, producer on a show in my early 20s, and we had a sofa in that, and it was such a nightmare getting this sofa around and getting it upstairs in tiny venues that I was like, I'm never doing a show with a sofa again. And then I wrote this one.
We do this to ourselves.
And I think because I wrote it not thinking I would have to stage it, in the script it's very much like just describes a house. So actually what you see on stage is stripped down from the script, and it is sort of the bare minimum. The way I thought about it as a designer was like, okay, we only need it if someone touches it, and if someone touches it, it has to be realistic.
Going back onto something you've mentioned, you wrote this play not thinking that it would be staged. Do you think with how... I feel like the theatre industry is going through very challenging times when it comes around funding, which there's a lot of conversations about this affecting the work that it's being put out.
Yeah.
Do you think that constricts you when you're writing?
Yeah. 100%. Like, every idea I have cooking in my head, every single one of them, the first question is like, how feasible is it? And like, do I like this idea the most because it's the best idea creatively? Or do I like it the most because it's a one-person show that would cost way less to produce? So, yeah, it's difficult, and it is limiting. But I also, in swings and roundabouts, like, when I was doing design at drama school, they brought in a freelance director and paired them with us, and we had to do a set design. It was just like a hypothetical. They gave us the venue and this director. There was no budget, and it was awful. So it was like limitless budget, do whatever you want, and I hated it. Because then you're like, what do I not do? So there's a certain degree of budget constraint that is good for creativity. You know, you're referencing the Lynn Gardner quote about theatre starving, and I think starvation is the key word. It's like, it's too tight.
Yeah.
It's just too tight. There's no breathing room.
I think I'm having a flourishing career because of the resources that I have through working with the University of Essex, which I'm very privileged with.
Yeah.
I have free rehearsal space. I have been working in projects as a producer where rehearsal space in London is over 100 a day. And you just cannot produce work without a starting budget.
No.
Whereas I have been able to put on shows because I have the space to explore.
Yeah.
And that's a huge privilege nowadays.
So you're taking Subtitles over to Edinburgh this year.
Yes.
How's that look?
Massive investment.
Yeah.
It feels daunting. So I went to Edinburgh as a member of the audience back in 2023, and I talked with some creatives, and some were like, you know, we've won awards, we've got an investment of like $3,000, but the show, like this one-woman show, literally like on a basement venue, and it was just her and the technician. She was like, I invested $11,000.
Oh my God.
And it was an amazing show, but I was like...
She ain't getting that
I could
back.
have... If that was me, you can put the entry to a house.
Yeah.
So it's a big investment,
Yeah.
and it's just hoping that it pays off by the connections you make and being able to take a step further into your career.
Yeah.
And I'm just very grateful that I have the team I have around me. Because as you were saying, like, obviously there's a lot of financial challenges. I think if anything, the only kind of challenges that I've encountered so far have been financial.
Yeah.
We're going to Edinburgh,
Yeah.
and I will have to work really hard for it to pay off. It's very exciting, but how sad it is that people used to go to Edinburgh as a starting point to their career when you were just starting, when you were a student. I mean, it's the fringe. That's what fringe is for building community, and now people are being priced off, and, you know, you have to be very privileged to get a foot on those stages. And what is that doing into our ecosystem? There's nothing that infuriates me and saddens me more than to see very talented people who just simply cannot make work, cannot access work because of their financial situation. And it's such a shame that we have to go into debt or get into incredibly financial stress to make art. I am terribly sad that the value of art is being put into question constantly, especially in the current climate where, you know, the far right is really coming from out of the woodwork, and we could argue that it's because of the lack of critical thinking, the lack of community, you know, all these bubbles that social media creates. And what is best, and this, I hope it doesn't come across as me sniffing my own farts because I work in theatre, but, you know, the power of theatre is the power
100%.
of being here present in a community where these debates happen. It makes you think, like, shows stay with you, and I still think of shows and, like, reflections from coming out of shows and having these conversations with people in the bar after. And I think the theatre should be more accessible, especially when it comes to, you know, people's financial accessibility, because I think it's the perfect remedy against the far-right discourse and how capitalism has become so isolating, and social media have turned all our brains into mush, myself included.
Beautifully said. That was really good. I don't have anything to add, so I'll cut there.
Amazing.
Once you had that idea and you were like, this is the plan, this is how I'm going to portray censorship and everything. Once all that was in place, did you just sit down and write it? How much of it was you and a blank page, and how much of it was you in a black box room?
Listen, I have a love-hate relationship with writing.
Yeah.
I love writing. I think I'm fairly good at writing. I hate the act of sitting down and writing. And, you know, that uncomfortable feeling in front of the blank page, it's just terrifying. So my creative writing process, do not try this at home. It's very unhealthy, but essentially I brew things in my head for years.
Oh, yeah.
And then eventually you have to sit down and write. So I have this system in which I put myself under an induced trance state. That happens through consuming surmountable amounts of coffee.
Okay.
So I'm on like 6 coffees.
Sure.
And I tire myself mentally until it's like 3 a.m. in the morning. I'm at the student centre here at the University of Essex, and I'm listening to like hard techno, and I just can't get through the absolute terror of the blank page, and I just blurt everything onto the page, and I'm sleep deprived, I'm caffeinated, I'm like listening to all this crazy music, and I just blast the keyboard, and I keep blasting, and I pull an all-nighter, and then I collapse at like 10 a.m. the next day, and I forget about it. And then I give myself like 3 days of space, and I come back to it, and I'm like, damn, who wrote that? Because it's just the bravery of starting that, you know, takes so much from you. And then I discovered that, like, writing a show is 90% editing.
Yeah. 100%.
So just get everything out there in a piece of paper.
In the morning.
Do whatever you need to do to get through the fear that you have at the beginning, hopefully in a more healthy way than I do.
I'm no better.
There you go.
I'm no better. Mine also takes place in the dead of night. With at least one bottle of red wine gone.
There we go.
You just got to do it.
Yeah.
But it's so hard. I think a lot of, like, I do a lot of plotting.
Yeah.
Like a lot of, like, act breakdowns and character breakdowns. And I think that's good to a degree, but I think I do it to the point of it being a crutch. I'm at that point with stuff now where really I should just sit down and be brave and put something on the paper. But I'm like, oh no, I still have to research this specific thing, you know?
But I think it really comes across in your writing how much you've researched.
Oh, thank you.
Because To Come Home, I've seen it so many times, and every time there's something that brings me further into the story, you really created a universe, and that's incredible to do. The music, the accents, the kind of like, it really surprised me how local it was to the setting that you decided.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to talk about that?
Sure. Everyone always asks. Yeah. I feel more confident about it now. When we were doing fringes and stuff, and people would ask me, I would feel a bit embarrassed about it. And every time we would sit down for a production meeting before a new run, we'd say, is this the one where we just said it in Essex? But ultimately, there's just fundamental plot points that I don't think would work outside of the US. The lack of a social safety net, the gun laws is a big one. And then on top of that, there is something romantic in the classical sense of the words. It's taking, especially a non-American audience into what is essentially a foreign world.
And
Does that
really
make sense? There's something cinematic about it. I guess because, you know, we're all citizens in the American media empire. There is something inherently cinematic about hearing those accents, but that wasn't really my intention. More with the setting, I felt like it was an American demographic that had been so demonized in media, you know, like the hillbilly stereotype. And I was like, these are just people. Like, they're not any worse or you know, more stupid than any of the rest of us. And then the more I learned about Appalachia and its history and how disenfranchised those parts of the states are, I was just like, 100%, I want to set a story here, and I want this character to be from here. Does that make sense?
Yes, and I think for me it's really incredible as a member of the audience of To Come Home how much it impacts you, even though it's so remote from our reality.
Yeah.
So why do you think that this story is resonating so much with modern English audiences?
I think that cinematic quality and those ingrained ideas we have about that part of the world and about people who sound like that, I think that is part of it. Disarms people. Ultimately, these are just human stories. Like, I always think, like, this is the kind of story that you could just read about in the local paper. like you would hear the periphery, like the end of it. It's not a true crime play, but it has that. I feel like that could have been an entry point. I didn't take it, but that could, you could have started at the end, and it could have been more of a whodunit, why done it.
Shall we talk about relationship with audiences and like funny pieces of feedback and how it's been received?
God. Yeah, you first.
Me first?
Yeah, you first.
Okay. So I must say it's been amazing to see how well received it has been by all kinds of audiences. It's incredible how diverse and international London and like the east of England is. When we just presented the work in progress at Southwark Playhouse, we just performed the show. Subtitles Over is a show performed in Catalan with English captions, and everyone was very happy with how it turned out. Amazing responses by the audience. And there was this couple sitting on the front row, and they stayed when everyone left, and they seemed like very into whatever was going through their mind. So I went, I was like, oh, so how did you find it? Like, and they're like, yeah, so when are you doing the show in English?
Oh.
And it just disarmed me.
People just,
I was like,
there's always going to be people who just, don't get it.
Yeah, so that was very sobering. I got comments from people being like, oh, Marina, what you do is just too challenging for audiences.
I
like,
don't think so.
Just do something that will sell, because we all know we got into theatre to sell tickets, not for the art of it. So I'm very happy I stuck to my guns, because I think people patronize audiences very much so. And there's this conception that like people just want to go to the theatre for pure entertainment and not to think, which was, it's like,
that's true, some people,
everything.
but that's a very small minority, I think.
Yeah, and like that can exist, but we also can have fringe theatre that's challenging to audiences, and people find it so not entertaining, but like people want to see this stuff that makes you think and really impacts you for years to come. There's shows that I saw years ago and I still think about because of how challenging I found them, and they still make me think now. So I would say if you're a creative and because of all the struggles we're going through, you're like, oh, shall I just do something that audiences will enjoy. Don't give audiences what you think audiences want, because audiences don't know what they want. Just do what you love, and you will find your niche of people who will connect with the work.
100%.
I think there's space for everyone.
Yeah.
What about you? Any stories?
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Oh, God. I mean, I have had people who I don't think get it. I'd say the vast majority of audiences do get it and love it. Because I'm always fascinated by the people that don't. Because I get, when it's you and then you talk to people, it's very hard to get or to trust what you're hearing back. So I always send out spies, and then I ask them what they overheard.
Amazing.
And stuff like that. And I don't think I've ever had anything negative. I think we might have had a couple of walkouts in some of the fringes, but the marketing is so explicitly like homo-romantic that I think if you missed all that on the way in, then that's on you. It's just like, sorry. But the responses can be kind of intense, I remember before we did London, Ryan, who's behind the camera, I said to him, like, they can be a bit intense. And then it was like, only the second or third night, we were in the pub afterwards, and this guy came up and just wanted to hug us, and he wanted to talk about the show, but he just kept crying. So, it's awkward, but it is rewarding, I guess, and validating.
And it's incredible to not know the impact that your shows have on people. That's a conversation I've had to so many people, because we're humans, we have our lives, we do our job, and then we go home. But I always think when I was a child, when I was younger, I used to go to shows and, you know, seeing the people on stage and being completely, like, finding it marvelous. And it's incredible working on theatre because you have these experiences. I'm going to plug a show, High Stakes by Eloina, that I just loved so much. I thought the concept was amazing, was very well performed. The topics it talks about is incredible. And then I was at the office back in 2024, I think it was, and she was sat like 2 rows in front of me. And I was like, I've been idolizing you for ages in my head and with my friends who've also seen the show. But it's this like very niche fame.
It is very niche.
And it has such an impact on like individual audiences. But we are like very normal people. You wouldn't think that you have this impact on people.
Yeah, I think especially when you've worked on a show for so long, I think when in the initial creative burst, the emotions are very intense. Like I remember feeling very intensely about the show, but then, you know, after years of rehearsal and editing and rewriting, you get a little bit sociopathic about it. I don't know about you, but I'm like when I rewrote the final scene last year, just some line changes, I remember like typing it like gleeful, like evil, like they're gonna frickin' cry, like I'm gonna get them. So, but I think as long as that initial heart is pure, that's okay. It's okay to be a little manipulative. I mean, that's just drama, right?
He's just gonna make us cry.
Drama.
And it works. I cry every time. Guys, I've worked in this show. I've seen this show 5 times. I'm always first row. I sob to the point that like the actors come to me after, like, "Are you all right? What the hell? You know what's happening?
You know what's happening. You staged half of this."
I know. And I just make myself cry. Especially lying in the snow is such a vulnerable moment. And it's incredible to see queer joy on stage.
Yeah, I get that one a lot from people. That's nice. And I agree, I like it. That's my favourite section. It is now, it didn't used to be. When we used to do it without an interval, that was I hated the happy bit in the middle.
Really?
Because it was a very long... It was a long slog, because it was like you'd go on for the final scene of Act 1 and then you wouldn't leave the stage for like 20, 25 minutes, and there's 2 songs in there, and there used to be a fight and like running around, and it's better now there's an interval and in the middle and it's broken up. But
as a performer, don't you feel like sometimes we're like athletes?
Oh my God, yeah.
I feel like that.
Yeah. Literally like last week I was like, for so long, this performance here that's coming up that's next year. I don't have to worry about that. And then last week I was like, I am not in shape. The calluses have gone off my guitar hands. Like, I haven't sung. But yeah. If you're doing night after night after night, it's a lot.
When I started Subtitles Over, this actor that I really admire, Mike Weinman, Mark came to me and asked, "Have you ever done a one-woman show?" And I was like, "No, this is my first." And he was like, "Prepare." I was like, "How difficult can it be? I'm just on stage. I'll just do it."
But it's just you.
It's a marathon. You have to hold it, and it physically feels like holding the attention.
Yeah.
And there can be a lot of moments. There can be like more slow moments, but it's that like carrying it through.
Yeah.
So I have like a pre-show. It's not a workout, but it's a preparation where it starts maybe 2 months before the show. I have to start doing cardio at the gym, and I have to start like watching my diet in the sense of like I have to be healthy, especially if it's a long run where you cannot get sick, because then you have to pay for half the price of the ticket. So that's enough. That's enough to make me prepare for it. And yeah, just being extremely healthy. you have rehearsals, so there's like an early start and a late finish. Your body have to deal with that, plus the anxiety, plus we self-produce work, so you have to be there for absolutely everything. That's a lot of energy. So I end up feeling like an athlete, and like I'm running a marathon for each run.
That was scary. You're right, like especially as it would be nice if we could just show up and do the show.
Just be performers.
But when Tech Week is like the most grueling week of your life and you're there from, you're like first one in, last one out. Oh my God.
And you get home and you have to do the marketing.
Yes.
And contact reviewers.
Yes.
And then answer the venue.
Yeah. And don't forget to eat.
Oh my goodness, good luck if you get 2 hours sleep.
Oh my God, yeah.
Honestly, so when I started Subtitles Over, I was like, right, I have to really like set myself limits and say this is what the roles you're taking and this is what you're delegating. And I know that I can trust my team, because if I cannot get to what I'm supposed to do, I know they'll get my flag. So in 2024, I taught for 3 months straight, which was crazy as like a self-produced piece. And we did Lakeside, I think. No, we did another show.
Your face is like war flashbacks.
PTSD, baby. It took me months to recover, where I was like, oh no, I don't have a show coming up.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Oh my God, when you wake up in the morning and you don't have a show, oh, that's nice.
It's great to have a great team. How do you find it, self-producing and wearing so many caps?
It's a lot. I mean, yeah, I definitely do that thing where I'm doing everything else and then suddenly it's like, it's 10 minutes to curtain and I haven't got my costume on. And then, I mean, it was a lot easier last year in London because we were in the venue the whole time. It was far more relaxed. But, I mean, doing Fringe, there's no alternative, right? Like, when people are like, oh, do you get nervous? And I'm like, I don't have time to get nervous. I'm nervous about getting the sound check done in 15 minutes. Like getting the band in, getting the set in, sound checking. Oh, I have to go on stage now? That's the easy bit. Like,
I'm nervous about audiences.
Yeah,
I'm nervous about getting audiences.
Is there going to be an audience?
And then literally muscle memory kicks in and I can do a show.
Just do it.
Sometimes I surprise myself now that I've been doing for years, where I sometimes disconnect and have an out-of-body experience where it's like, wow, and you just do it. It's muscle memory. And of course, I don't want to do that. I want to be present. But it's incredible. You've been rehearsing it so much. You just know it. And I know I really approach my craft very from the body and physically and being present physically instead of like getting in my head and trying to get the emotions. It's just body. I know what to do to bring the emotion and to bring the reaction from the audience and being connected there. That I just, emotionally, I don't have to torture myself and have all these mechanisms.
But that's healthy, and that's craft, right?
It's amazing. Like, I can do an incredibly draining show and very emotional show as many times as you want.
Yeah.
Just muscle memory.
I feel the same. Like when people were like, when we finished the 2-week run in London, and people were like, "That was a lot. Are you okay?" I was like, "Yeah, it's fine," because it wasn't Fringe. I think Fringe is such like a baptism of fire.
Yes.
I was like, it's lovely. You know, I get to rock up like 2 hours before, just like hang out in the space, get warmed up, make sure everything is good, do the show, go home. Perfect.
Wouldn't it be amazing to just be a performer?
It would be
or
so
just be a producer.
nice. Wouldn't that be lovely?
Oh my God, to have one job. That's a dream. And that's what I'm working towards, because I don't want to be there where I am now because of necessity, because there's no funds to pay for everyone I want in the team, where acting is the least of my concerns. It's like, you have to do all this plethora of stuff.
I never want people to think that, like, I don't care about the acting.
Of course.
That's not it. Obviously, I'm doing everything else so that I can do the acting.
Yes.
I mean, it is really good for nerves, because you just have to get to that point where you just trust yourself to put it off. You're like, well, I've done it this many times, you know, I've had this many good responses to it, I'll just keep doing it.
For me, it really demystifies this kind of like, oh, I'm an actor. I'm an actor.
Yeah.
it's a craft, and everyone in the team has a craft, and it's a job. So it helped me get rid of like any drama that you take at home and all these like tortured artist preconception we have of actors. It's such a beautiful job. It's, you know, developing your craft is so beautiful, but it's a job. And it has given me a lot of professionalism and not trying to get hung up on like, I'm a big hater of the Stanislavski method, mate. Like, just methods.
I think like I've realized as an actor. My favorite place is the rehearsal room, because that's where you have the space and the time to be emotional and to you know, find all the interesting things. But I think that by the time you get to the stage, all of that rawness should have been honed into something that is sharp and healthy.
Absolutely.
and doable, like every single night. But I still do enjoy the like rawness of being in a rehearsal room and that like closed space discovery phase. I still think I still do have moments of discovery on stage, but I think just by the nature of having done it so many times, I do fall into a rhythm, and I think that's okay. Right? Is that
I think it is. I mean, it's an act of balance of like feeling very confident on what you've discovered throughout doing it so many times, and then keeping it fresh.
Yeah.
But honestly, I've seen your show so many times, and it seems like a new show every time. So I think you're doing very well that balance.
Thank you.
But yeah, I think being an actor is great when you approach it from this playfulness and curiosity, and finding new things. I learn a lot on the job. I learned so much from every single show that I do. Like new things that make audiences click. Audiences are so different. Different things make them click.
Different vibes every night,
Oh, yes. Yes.
Sometimes I find the smaller audiences better. If there's too few, you're not going to get any energy. But that doesn't happen to us.
It happened to me once. Once in my career. I started a show with one person in the audience.
No. Which show?
Never happened to me. It was Subtitles Over.
No.
And it was at the festival in London where we picked so many dates.
Okay.
It was very difficult to fill up every show. And we had amazing audiences from that day, but it was like in the middle of the week. I think it was a Tuesday. So, you know, I've learned my lesson. Don't do shows.
Did they stay? Did you do the whole thing for them?
So that's the thing. As a theatre maker, as an actor, I think that if you have one person, you have to do the show.
Yeah.
Out of respect for your audiences, and this person has put their money to come see you, has put their time and effort to come see you, has gotten out of the house.
I think I'd love it, honestly, especially because it's just you on stage. You just have the one person.
Yeah. So it was very hard, I'm not going to lie, opening my eyes from, you know, how I started sleeping there, and I opened my eyes, and there's one person. I was like, but yeah, I got around to starting, and then people started arriving, like, after 10 minutes, because there was, like, something happening with the tube. But this one time, I thought I was doing it for one person. It ended up being, like, 10 or so, but I think having one person there is enough to start.
Yeah. I mean, we're used to doing it in a rehearsal room in front of one director.
Yeah.
So just give them a good show.
Absolutely.
It's still...
Oh, I want to ask you.
Yes.
What was your first theatre experience?
Very young. I can't remember how old I was, but this clown came to our school and did a show for us in our class. And she gave us a piece of verdura, just like a veggie, a vegetable. That's what I can remember from it. Because her name is Lavleda, which is a vegetable that I don't know how to translate.
Okay, cool.
Let's say it's a leek, which is not. But yeah, I saw her as a child. I was like, I want to do this. This is fun. And again, when you see someone on stage, they become these gods to you.
Yeah.
And the reality was, this actor was coming to a class of like 4 years old. But to me,
no one envies that job. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
but that's why it's important.
Yes,
Theatre and education. It's not for me, but it's important.
You know, she is a very well-established artist in Girona, my hometown. So as an older person who has ended up doing theatre, sometimes I see her around and I'm like, you don't know this, but you're like
tell her.
My hero.
You should tell her.
Bleda, si vols això. I am who I am because of that fateful day. Oh my God, thank you for your work. So yeah, that's my
fun.
villain horror origin story. What about you? What's your first ever?
My first one I remember is Tap Dogs.
What's that?
So it's like, have you ever seen Stomp?
No.
Oh. Okay, well that's irrelevant then. But basically,
please tell
it's
me
a
more
tap.
about it.
It's tap dancing. But it was like very 90s, like edgy. We're gonna make it edgy. We're gonna make tap dancing cool, kind of thing. And it was like, just like some very attractive, muscly men in like vests. You know.
Was it also your gay awakening?
Might have been. It might be linked.
Two awakenings.
But I think I was like 4 or something, and
Oh my God.
I saw the show, and it was obviously so loud because it's like tap dancing, and it was so like frenetic and energetic, and I went home and I was like, I want to do that. And my parents like must have gone to B&Q or something, and they just got me this like board, like just like MDF board, and that I would tap dance on that. And
You know how to tap dance?
not anymore, but that was my entry.
Because you were a child actor.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that?
I will say, like, doing a proper show at like 6 years old, that was a lot. Like, that's definitely left its mark. Like, I can be in the wings of like any theatre, and I'm like, home. Like, I'm definitely like raised in the wings.
It's incredible. Was
I
it
love
like
the
a
smell
West
of.
End?
Huh?
Was it like a West End?
Yeah, it was the Garrick Theatre.
Wow.
Yeah, lovely theatre. But yeah, I love the smell of haze.
I get it.
Yeah, the smell of like burning dust when the lights turn on. All of that. Love that.
Do you want to know how this is quite funny. Again, villain origin story.
Yeah.
I was 4 years old, and a teacher came to our class and asked who had signed up for theatre classes at school after class. I was like, oh, theatre, yes. I used to steal like costumes from a prop box we had and wear them like in the playground. I was like, this is my jam. So I raised my hand. I was like, me. And of course, the teacher must have gone to my parents and be like, oh, you have to pay.
Yeah.
I don't know how it worked, but, you know. So I told my parents I want to do drama. And my dad was like, are you sure? Then you want to do, like, languages or, you know, something that's useful for your future? And I was like, I'm 4 and I'm going to do drama. This is what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So my dad, bless him, was like, OK, I'm going to sign you up for drama on the condition that you also take English classes, hoping that I would do something with my life.
Yeah.
And I ended up doing drama in English, so thanks, Dad. No, my parents have been very supportive. They eventually enrolled me in El Galline, a drama school in Girona, my hometown, and that was what really sealed my fate. And here we are, baby.
We are a richer country for it. Thank
You're
you for
so
coming.
welcome. I am God's gift to the UK.
So Subtitles, inspired by real life events that happened to you. Do you think that will always be the case as a writer? Or do you think is there somewhere else that inspiration could come from?
I make theatre because I get very angry about stuff. My identity is to be a raging feminist. And I think people deal with this anger in very different ways. And theatre is just my valve of expression. Sometimes
There
I
are
feel...
healthier ways to deal with your anger.
What's better than get super angry about something and plant yourself on a stage and make people pay
to see you rage about it.
and rage together and
So
eventually
good.
burn the wall. Oh, that's my ultimate goal. But no, seriously, there's systemical stuff that anger me so much, and I feel so powerless as an individual. That my way to deal with it and make a difference is to write a show about it, and come on stage and pose these questions to other people. And have conversations. I think theatre is a conversation starter, and this is why I do it.
That approach comes from, is that a natural thing, do you think, or do you think that's an education-informed thing? I'm just thinking about Lorca being similar.
Oh my God, don't say that, because I once...
Well, just in terms of he wrote about what angered him, right?
Yeah, to a degree,
Injustice
but
and-
I think he wrote so much. I think Lorca was this beautiful filter that existed, and
That's
he
a
just
nice way to
filtered
describe it.
his experience into beautiful art.
Yeah.
I think what artists are just a filtering through which they see the world, and they happen to have the skill to share it.
Yeah.
And I really admire Lorca so much because he has such a varied, very wide spectrum of work. He wrote very bucolic and pastoral stuff about nature and, the south of Spain where he was from. He also wrote very poignant, family drama, really painting a picture of what the Spanish society used to be pre-Civil War. Then very political stuff. He also was an amazing, visionary. Oh my God, he has this play, El Público, the audience.
I thought you were going to say he also was an amazing homosexual.
A raging queer and a communist.
And we love him for it.
We love that. Lorca is my spirit animal. I wish to get to the sole of his shoes one day. In talent, he was so amazing and such a visionary. Where he wrote a play and he opened the play by saying, "The Spanish theatre scene is not prepared for this. I'm just writing it with the hopes to see it staged in the future." And I saw it staged. I bought myself a plane ticket to go see El Público, directed by Marta Pazos in Barcelona.
Cool.
How much of a geek am I?
I would do that for the right thing.
So who's your, idol, not idol, but, the referent in theatre or the arts?
It's Tennessee, probably.
Tennessee Williams.
Yeah.
Tell me more about it.
Another raging homosexual.
The best stuff.
Actually didn't read Tennessee until drama school when I was designing one of his plays, and then I proceeded to read as many of them as I could get my hands on. I just love his dialogue. I love his obsession with people. I love his obsession with maternal figures. And then the more I learned about his own personal life, the more you're like, okay. Okay, I see. The homoeroticism in his work that he, wasn't always able to manifest explicitly. I would love to know what he would write now.
Yeah. Do you think he inspired your work? Do you see bits of him in your work?
Yeah. 100%.
I was like, Amy.
Yeah, 100%. I think I also love more sort of contemporary English writers, and actually, if I think about To Come Home, it's almost as if I've sort of pulled different ones for different characters. Amy is very clearly Tennessee Williams. Actually, probably both the parents. And maybe that's a subconsciously me trying to do a generational thing. But they speak in much more flowery but also kind of chaotic. Well, I try to make them sound like accidental poetry, you know, when she's just rambling from a place of like pure emotion. Whereas I think actually the boys are more tight-lipped, and I try to say with the boys I'm always trying to say as much as possible with like as little as possible.
Amy's speech about he's your baby, he's never been my baby, it just breaks my heart. It's so out of any kind of cliche.
Oh, thanks.
What you were explaining of wanting to humanize this kind of like hillbilly stereotype.
Sure.
And it shows, it's not only the hillbilly cliche, it's the motherhood cliche of like all mothers connect with their babies and it's, you know, a woman's mission to eventually become a mother. I thought it was so raw and so beautiful to see on stage and so beautifully put how
she doesn't
maybe
have
she doesn't have this maternal feeling.
And she has shame about it, I think.
Yeah. Very interesting.
I love her. I love her. Yeah.
Such a well-fleshed character.
Yeah, and then you combine that with, in my mind, she was probably groomed by Caleb, and she's like so under his thumb. So you combine that sort of brainwashing with that shame over a lack of maternal instinct. And she has that other bit where she's saying like, oh, he's the reason we got stuck in this town, and he's the reason you went inside. And I remember being in the rehearsal room when they were doing that scene, and Isabel was saying to them, she's not talking about Evan. Out loud, she's talking about Evan, but really it's Caleb's fault. It's all the dad's fault. Everything is like his fault. But she's either unwilling or unable to say that, so she deflects everything onto her son. And whether that's conscious or unconscious is, I think, up to the actor.
Tennessee would be proud.
Oh, thanks.
I think you two would be friends.
Yeah, I think so.
You'd have a great
For sure,
time.
yeah.
Great dinner parties.
Yeah.
If you had to define To Come Home in 3 words.
I would say To Come Home.
Okay, you killed me.
You can do the same thing.
Shut up. Subtitles over.
3 words.
Clap, clap, clap. I would define Subtitles Over as rebellious, thrilling, and relevant.
I would do culture, language, and censorship, because I almost did it on the poster when I was working on the poster for you.
Oh my God, have you guys seen the poster? Have you seen the
We shot it right here.
Beautiful poster. I've been getting so many compliments.
Oh, good.
People are like, who has done that?
We all did it. It was a team effort.
It was a team effort. Maddie took amazing pictures. Lakeside was so good, lending us the space. All the amazing volunteers who came. It was so fun.
I love that poster.
It's so beautiful.
I remember us having that conversation and me pulling up that Liberty leading the people, being like, I want to do this. And we were like, this is possible. But I think it turned out pretty good.
Sadly enough, there's a Catalanophobia, especially online. And I hope this doesn't sound as me like boo-hoo us. I don't think it is. I think it's something that's very similar to like right-aligning or far-right-aligning. We say you're this and you have to be this.
Yeah. It's a lack of self-determination for people.
Yeah, so essentially Catalan people want to vote about their independence and Spain is saying no. I think we should be able to vote about it, and if it was no, okay, that's what the people want. But essentially, there's a lot of hatred online about it, and it did worry me about getting hate online, which we've gotten a few comments and, you know, DMs of like, not very nice emojis, but it's liminal. Like all Spanish people who have seen the show tend to love it because it's not trying to.
It's not preachy.
It's not preachy.
I would say it's a criticism of state censorship,
and
state violence, but it's not a criticism of either side of the debate.
And if anything, like the play also contends with some issues within the Catalan independentist movement.
Yeah, you and I talked a lot about how that poster would be perceived, and I think we landed on the right thing there.
I agree.
With the ambiguity as a way of of being true to the play in that it's a documentary commentary about that situation and the handling of it by the state. And I think we got that in the poster.
Yeah. As someone who's around like content in social media in Catalan and seeing the absolute hate on comments, it's appalling just for people using their language. And it's been something that has been very much at the front of my mind, like not to self-victimize here, but sometimes when I'm in a context where I'm like, I have to do this in front of an audience, I don't know if Spanish people will be there. I don't know if I don't know if someone will come on stage and punch me. So there have been instances where I had people from my team watching the audience. Just in case.
But also, do you think that's when you know you're doing something worthwhile? Like, we haven't had a lot of hate, but it does happen. I mean, it normally happens, like, I'll normally get, like, hate comments on when we run ads.
I've seen them.
But then it's like, hey girl, it's your algorithm showing you this ad. I mean, I put in the targeted interests, and they are as gay as I can make them. So if you're seeing it, I don't. Yeah. But also, thank you for the engagement.
I think you're right. I think it's when you get scared that it's worth doing.
Yeah.
But it's difficult when you put your physical integrity in there, like when you jump on stage and you don't know who you have in the audience. And it's not something that has crossed my mind with other shows.
No.
I also did the show in Spanish.
Yeah.
And no one batters an eye.
No.
Why am I worried about doing it in Catalan? But yeah, it's a reality. And I've heard from other companies who also have people watching the audience. Mostly women performers.
Funny that.
Or female presenting artists.
Yeah.
And it's very sad, but that's what I love about theatre, the connection with the audience. And yeah, you put your physical integrity in there. If your shows were a cake, what cake flavour would it be?
This is like the questions Isabel asks us before every show. Okay,
so if your show or your theatre practice was like a cake, what flavour would it be?
Oh my God. I mean, I love a boozy fruitcake.
Nice.
Because I am one. But I think like a bourbon infused, like a Kentucky bourbon infused fruitcake.
Nice.
But made with like cheap canned fruit. And lots of sugar.
I love that. I would eat it.
It sounds good, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Like it could catch fire. I want it that boozy, you know.
Oh, nice.
What about yours?
Mine would be a Guinness cake.
Oh, I love a Guinness cake.
Unexpected. You see it and you're like, what the fuck? What is that? What is that the flavour?
Yeah.
And then you have it, and you're like, oh my God, this is so good. I want a second portion.
Yeah.
And it's rebellious, it's unexpected, it's like, I want to say hardcore, but it's like punk.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah, just not something you'd expect on a cake.
Yeah.
I think we bring that kind of energy, especially with Subtitles Over, where it's like in your face and quite activist. And yeah, I think Guinnesses have fueled most of my creative process. I wrote this show doing all-day rehearsals with the amazing people at Captain Amazing, who gave me the space to explore this show alongside theirs. All-day rehearsals, go onto my director's sofa, and instead of sleeping, writing the show, next day rehearsals and trying stuff. So it was, and then you go to the pub to debrief with Megan, my director, having a Guinness. So there we are.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, it would be a Guinness cake.
Cool.
Come see To Come Home at the Lakeside Theatre on the 23rd of January at 7:30 p.m. Get your tickets now. This is a show you do not want to miss.
And while you're there, you can buy tickets to Subtitles Over on the 5th of March at 7 p.m. at the Lakeside Theatre. It's beautiful, it's clever, it's funny. See you there.
We'll see you there.
Bye. Oh, God, I need a wee so bad.
Well done.
Well done.